Good morning, Instagram, and good morning, Facebook and YouTube. How are we? Here for daily live number 3, a little bit early today. It's about 5:30 in the morning here. We're getting ready to go to Raw Challenge Taipan today. So I thought I'd get on to the live before we have to shoot. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of corrective exercise. We're also going to be talking about various race distances and events around the country and the world to educate you guys about obstacle racing a little bit. So today we're working all on feet, and we'll get straight into it. So what we're going to be doing is a minute of 4 different exercises. We're going to start out, and this is all to do with strengthening the feet. The feet are your foundation, so if you have weak feet, chances are your arches are going to collapse in, your glute medians are going to turn off, everything's going to turn in, and that's going to cause all sorts of problems with your knees and heaps of other issues all up the kinetic chain. So I'm going to set myself a little timer. What we're going to do is just start out with the calf raise, and we're just trying to come as high up as we can with our calf raise. And we just do 1 minute of this. We're going to start out with this calf raise. So if you're new to obstacle racing, or maybe a veteran, I will go through some of the races that happen pretty regularly. If you have been in the sport for any amount of time, you know that Spartan is the biggest player. They're the largest endurance event in the world, largest endurance company in the world. They've bought out a heap of smaller ones. They've bought out things like Tough Mudder. So if you're talking about obstacle racing, Spartan is really the place where you're going to be. Keep going with these calf raises, guys. Spartan run various different race distances. Their main staple events are part of what they call their trifecta, just having a rest there. So if you're doing those right, doing those with really good form and good range, that should have got pretty spicy around the back of the calves. The next exercise we're going to do is we're going to lift our big toes, then we're going to push our big toes down and lift our other toes. So it looks like this: big toes up, other toes down, toes up, other toes down. I don't know if you guys can see very well on Instagram. If you can't see on Instagram and you're interested in doing this one, following along with me, just let me know and I'll send you a message or a video message of exactly what I was doing. Also, give me a hashtag live, hashtag replay if you are catching these at some point. Any questions that you ask me along while we're doing these videos, I will answer. It's pretty hard for me to see the screens at the moment with my current setup, but I will have a look at them after I finish. So if you've got any questions, let me know. So this one gets a little bit spicy in your feet as well, having a rest there. So Spartan have a what they call their trifecta. That makes up a 5K race with 20 obstacles. That makes up a 10K race with 25 obstacles, and a beast, which is a 21K event with 30 obstacles. Now, if you're a little bit crazy, you can then upgrade to an ultra, which has 2 laps of the beast plus an 8K loop to make up that 50 kilometers. And you're looking at 60 obstacles as you do 2 beast loops, and usually another obstacle or 2 snuck into the ultra loop as well. Next thing we're going to do, guys, we're going to turn our glute medians on. We're going to flex our feet out and really turn the arch of the feet on. So what I want you to do at the same time as you do this is push your big toes into the ground. Just like that. So if you have been told you overpronate or you have flat feet, this is going to turn on the counter muscles that are going to work against that. So Spartan then have larger events like 24-hour Ultra World Champs. They also have things like a Hurricane Heat, which is a 4-hour endurance event, goes up to a 12-hour, 24, and a Gogi and a Death Race. So they go right up the endurance ladder as far as crazy events. Tough Mudder, they're probably the next biggest player in the game. They run a standard event, which is about an 18K. I think they do a Tough Mudder half, which is about having a rest there. They run a half, which is around the 10k mark. Now, Tough Mudder tends to be geared a little bit more at fun as opposed to competitiveness. So if you are looking at taking a team through an event, Tough Mudder is a really good option. I mean, you can do the same thing at Spartan, but it tends to be a little bit more competitive. All right, the last one, we're going to go back to those calf raises, guys. So we're going to throw those back in after we've moved those feet, but I really want you to try and get as much reach as you can up here. We then have a lot of smaller events around the country. True Grit's probably the next largest one in Australia. They run 4 events a year. They've already had their New South Wales event last weekend, the weekend before. They run a Queensland and a South Australian event and a Western Australian event. So they run 4. They've got 3 to go and a really good little race organisation worth checking out. Next we have probably Red Dust. They're over in the WA. They're running 3 events this year and a really good operation. I'll be over there in April to run Red Dust OCR. They run in April, I'll be over there for their Momentum event. They run a 5, a 10 and a 15k and something called a Delta V, which is like a sort of a military boot camp style event. And then another 2 of those and then we're done and I'll just wrap up. So then we have some smaller operations, like the one that I'm going to today, which is Raw Challenge Gold Coast. Obviously it is just a single venue, but they do get great numbers. They run a really good operation out there. So it's a 9k course. They run an elite today at about 8 a.m, I think, might be 8:30. Yeah, really, really good operation. They're adding obstacles every year. It's only growing. And we are, of course, running Taipan out there today for our first event. So that's going to be a 5-hour event, like a mix between a military boot camp and an escape room. So if you're interested in any of that type of stuff, that gives you a bit of an idea of what's happening around Australia. I might follow it up on a further video. I was hoping to get through a little bit more in the 5 minutes, but it goes fast. Join me every day for 5 minutes of movement and your body will get stronger, fitter and faster. See you guys. Hopefully I'll see some of you at Raw and Taipan.